God is speaking to the chosen ones right now. His voice is moving like fire in the spirit, like wind through the trees, like thunder rolling across your bones. And if you're listening, truly listening, then you know this message is for you. You didn't click on this by accident. You didn't stumble upon this word by coincidence. Heaven doesn't move in randomness. It moves with intention, divine, perfect intention. And right now, it's calling out your name. You are a chosen one, chosen before the foundation of the world, chosen while you were still in the womb, chosen even in your darkest moments, even when you doubted your worth, even when you cried yourself to sleep, even when they made you feel like nothing. You were chosen then, and you are chosen now. You've been feeling it, haven't you? This strange pressure, this invisible heaviness, this sense that something in the atmosphere has shifted, something deep and cosmic and ancient. The Aquarius full moon is still moving, and while many are unaware, spiritually asleep, blind to the signs, your spirit has been catching it. Restless at night, dreams filled with symbols, encounters that feel divine, warnings you can't explain. Your body knows, your spirit knows, because heaven is speaking to you in this hour. This isn't just astrology. This isn't some vague moon energy passing through. This is a divine moment carved into the spiritual calendar, a time of great revealing, a time of intense exposure, a time when the veil between the natural and supernatural is thin, and those with eyes to see are being summoned to protect their spirit, not out of fear, but out of wisdom, because the light of God inside of you has become too bright to ignore. And when the light shines, shadows scatter, but not before they lash out. You've been feeling the tension, the emotional weight, the whispers behind your back, the energy shifts in the room when you walk in. You may feel more tired than usual, more sensitive to noise, more guarded around people you once trusted. That's not paranoia. That's spiritual discernment. Your spirit is picking up on energies that words can't express. Because when you're chosen, you don't just live in the physical, you live between realms. And right now, the realm of the spirit is crying out, protect what God has planted in you. You've gone through too much to be careless with your soul now. You've survived too much betrayal, too much heartbreak, too many silent nights questioning if God still sees you. But He did. He never left. Even when you were silent, even when you screamed into the darkness and heard nothing in return, heaven was watching, waiting, preparing. Because the betrayal was necessary. The isolation was divine. The misunderstanding was the setup. God was cutting the ties that could not go with you into this next dimension. He was removing the counterfeit connections, the leeches, the spiritual parasites, the people who only loved you when you were small and silent. And now that your light is rising, they don't know how to handle you anymore. Let them go. Let the confusion fall away. Let the need to be understood die. Because the truth is, they were never meant to understand you. Not at this level, not with this calling. You are not like them. You never were. And that has always made you a threat. But in this season, that threat is being activated into purpose. God is shifting things on your behalf. The divine realm is moving behind the scenes, and the Aquarius moon is only intensifying what's already begun. A cosmic cleansing, a supernatural exposure, a stripping away of all that is not aligned with your divine frequency. You've been marked by God. You walk into rooms and don't even realize the authority you carry. People look at you strange not because you're doing something wrong, but because your spirit is radiating a light their darkness can't handle. You don't even have to speak, and your presence convicts them. That's why they gossip. That's why they belittle. That's why they attack. Not because of you, but because of the God in you. And this full moon energy is exposing every hidden motive, every secret hater, every masked friend. You are going to start seeing people for who they really are, not because you're being negative, but because clarity is a gift for the chosen ones. Discernment is your shield in this hour. Protect your spirit, protect your peace, protect your energy. Some people have no idea the weight they carry, but you do. You feel the cost of your light. You feel the burden of your calling. You feel the loneliness of being chosen, but you also feel the fire rising again. You feel the strength coming back. You feel the knowing deep in your bones. Something is shifting. You've cried, but you've grown. You've been quiet, but you've been evolving. And now the heavens are opening. God is moving, not just around you, but inside of you. The old version of you is being laid to rest. The one who tolerated the bare minimum. The one who kept the peace at the cost of your own. The one who dimmed your light so others wouldn't feel small. That version of you is gone, and what's emerging is unshakable, unmovable, set apart. You are being recalibrated, spiritually rewired, spiritually refined, and it's not easy because transformation never is. The fire is not meant to burn you, but to purify you, to strip away every false identity, every limiting belief, every toxic residue from the people who never saw your worth. This is holy work, sacred work, and only the chosen endure it. You may have felt like you were breaking, but God says you were being rebuilt. Do not let the opinions of the blind shake your knowing. Do not let the judgments of the insecure shake your anointing. You are not here to convince anyone. You are here to carry out a mission. And part of that mission begins now with protecting what God is birthing in you under this spiritual pressure. Protect your thoughts, protect your body, protect your soul. Because this isn't just a season, it's a shift. And you're not just going through it, you're growing through it. The full moon in Aquarius is not done. Its energy is still moving, still refining, still awakening things inside of you that you didn't know were there. Gifts, prophetic sight, emotional clarity, deep healing, boldness. You will no longer apologize for your discernment. You will no longer shrink to fit their comfort zones. You will no longer carry guilt for protecting your peace. The sacred is being activated, and while others mock what they don't understand, you are being initiated into something greater. Heaven is calling your name, and you can't run from it anymore. You are chosen, and now it's time to rise. They are panicking. They feel the shift. They may not understand it, but they feel it. The ones who spoke behind your back, the ones who laughed when you were in pain, the ones who watched you fall and secretly celebrated. Oh, they feel it now. They can't quite explain it, but something in the atmosphere has changed, and they know it has everything to do with you. Your name is being spoken in rooms you haven't even entered yet, and not always with celebration. Some are shocked that you're still standing. Others are confused how you keep rising. They were sure the last storm would destroy you. They were sure the betrayal would break you. They were certain your silence meant defeat. But God was silent because he was preparing something no enemy could see. While they were talking, God was building. While they were mocking, God was molding. While they were scheming, God was setting the table. And now, they're uncomfortable because something about your spirit unsettles theirs. Not because you've done anything, but because your light is too real to fake. Your energy exposes what they've tried so hard to hide. That jealousy they pretend isn't there. That envy they mask as concern. That bitterness they disguise as advice. It's all unraveling now. You see, the Aquarius full moon didn't just bring clarity for you. It brought discomfort for them. It stirred the waters. It disrupted the masks. It tore the veil. And when God starts revealing, nothing stays hidden. That's why the attacks have intensified. That's why you felt a rise in strange tension, unusual dreams, unexpected triggers, random conflicts out of nowhere. It's spiritual warfare, not imagined, not exaggerated, real. Because you've stepped into a higher spiritual vibration, and now the lower frequencies can't reach you the way they used to. You don't even respond the way you used to. You're not defending yourself anymore. You're not chasing validation. You're not trying to prove your worth. That silence, that detachment, that distance, that's power. That's divine protection. And they don't know what to do with it. Because people expect you to crumble when you're quiet. They expect you to fight when provoked. They expect you to beg when abandoned. But the chosen ones move differently. We don't beg, we don't chase, we don't break, we ascend. God has been watching it all. Every side comment, every fake smile, every manipulative gesture dressed as kindness. And He's not just watching, He's responding. This is the season where heaven makes a statement, not through thunder, not through lightning, but through you, through your comeback, through your glow, through your resilience, through your peace. That's your revenge. Peace. That's your victory. Clarity. That's your elevation. Healing. The Lord says in Psalm 23:5, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies," not behind their backs, not out of sight, but in front of them. The same ones who said you'd never make it. The same ones who whispered, "Who does she think she is?" The same ones who tried to steal your essence, mimic your anointing, discredit your pain. They're going to have to watch you rise, and they won't be able to stop it, because what God ordains, man cannot undo. They're panicking because you're finally walking in your power. They see the glow, they feel the shift. And what's terrifying them isn't what you're doing, it's what you're becoming. Because for the first time, you're not playing small. You're not watering yourself down. You're not carrying their burdens to make them feel better about neglecting their own. You've reclaimed your space, and in doing so, you've exposed their shadows. Chosen one, your spiritual authority is real. Not everyone has it. Not everyone understands it. But those who walk in it, they disrupt entire atmospheres without saying a word. You've walked into rooms and made demons tremble. You've made people uncomfortable just by being yourself. And that's not arrogance, that's alignment. That's what happens when a chosen vessel stops apologizing for being chosen. Don't be surprised if people start acting strange around you, pulling back, throwing shade, speaking sideways. That's the conviction they don't want to admit. That's the darkness being revealed under your light. And instead of reflecting, they reject. Instead of healing, they lash out. But you keep your peace. You stay covered. Because your armor is not flesh, it's spirit. And your spirit is armored in truth. Ephesians 6 reminds us, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world." You're not fighting people, you're confronting forces. Ancient energies that have followed your bloodline, generational curses that thought they had a claim on your soul. But this full moon has made it clear, you are the cycle breaker, the chain destroyer, the spiritual warrior chosen to shift the narrative. And because of that, you've been under attack since birth. You've been misunderstood since childhood, sensitive, intuitive, spiritually alert. They tried to label it, tried to shame it, tried to silence it. But they couldn't take it away, because what God placed in you cannot be erased. And now that you're waking up to it fully, the forces that once intimidated you are shaking in fear, because they never feared the old you. They feared the awakened you. You've gone through things others wouldn't survive, and you still walk with grace. That alone is proof that God's hand has never left you. You carry wounds that no one sees. You've fought battles in silence. You've cried with no one there to hold you, and yet here you are, wiser, stronger, more discerning. That is power. That is divine protection. And now heaven is turning the page. Everything they did, the gossip, the betrayal, the rejection, it's all becoming part of your testimony, because God is using it to show His glory. Romans 8:28 says it clearly, "And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to His purpose." Not some things, all things, even the pain, even the betrayal, even the delay. It all had a purpose. Chosen one, this is your season of validation, not by man, but by God. What they laughed at, He's about to bless. What they dismissed, He's about to anoint. What they mocked, He's about to magnify. They had no idea who they were messing with, because when they touched you, they touched the divine. When they tried to dim your light, they challenged the one who lit it. When they broke your heart, they provoked the one who heals it. And now God says, enough. Now God says, it's time. Now God says, touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm. The Aquarius moon is still casting its light, still shaking the shadows, still confirming what your spirit already knew. You are not like the rest. You never were. And the ones who thought you were weak are about to see just how strong God's presence in you really is. They're talking, let them. They're watching, let them. They're uneasy, let them be. Because you are chosen, and you're just getting started. They didn't see it coming. They thought you were finished. They mistook your silence for weakness, your solitude for defeat. They saw you walk away and believed it was because you were broken. But what they didn't know, what they never understood, is that the chosen ones don't walk away in weakness. We walk away in wisdom. We walk away when the Spirit says move. We walk away when staying would cost us our soul. And when you walked, something powerful shifted. You left behind the lies. You left behind the manipulation. You left behind the watered-down version of yourself they had gotten so used to. You chose peace over chaos. You chose dignity over revenge. You chose truth over performance. And in that moment, when you finally said no more, heaven took notice. Your angels stood at attention. God said, "That's my child," stepping into their authority. You may not have felt strong in that moment. You may have cried. You may have second-guessed. You may have even felt guilt for choosing yourself. But make no mistake, in the spirit realm, that decision shattered chains that had held you for years. Chains of guilt, chains of codependency, chains of fear. And when you walked, hell panicked. Because a liberated chosen one is a threat to every dark structure. They didn't see it coming. They thought they had you figured out. They put you in a box, defined you by your past, labeled you according to your pain. But you're not that person anymore. You've evolved. You've grown. You've healed. And your healing is loud, even if you never say a word. The energy around you has changed. The way you carry yourself has changed. The old wounds don't bleed the way they used to. The triggers don't trap you the way they used to. That's the mark of transformation. You rose like a phoenix, quietly, powerfully, divinely. You didn't need to clap back. You didn't need to prove anything. You didn't need to explain why you left, why you stopped answering, why you pulled your spirit back. Because when God calls you out of a room, you don't need to wait for applause. You leave with grace. You leave with peace. You leave with God. And now, they're stunned. They don't have access to you anymore, not the way they used to. Your spirit is not available for misuse. Your time is not available for draining. Your gifts are not available for exploitation. And this is what they never expected, that you would grow to the point where their validation no longer holds weight. But this isn't just about you. This is about what God is about to do through you. Because you stood your ground, because you didn't fold under pressure, because you chose obedience over popularity. God is about to publicly deliver justice, not just behind closed doors, not just in secret, but in the open, where all can see. Because the attacks weren't private, the humiliation wasn't hidden, the pain wasn't silent, so neither will be your reward. Isaiah 61:7 declares, "Instead of your shame, you will receive a double portion, and instead of disgrace, you will rejoice in your inheritance." That's not poetry, that's prophecy, and it's yours. The season of shame is over. The season of being overlooked, underestimated, mocked, it's ending. And what's rising in its place is vindication, elevation, and restoration. God is not just restoring what was stolen, He's multiplying it. You lost people, He's sending better. You lost opportunities, He's creating new doors. You lost time, He's redeeming it. This is divine justice. This is holy compensation. This is what happens when the chosen ones refuse to break. You didn't retaliate when you could have. You didn't gossip when you had receipts. You didn't curse when you were cursed. You held your dignity. And that self-control, that spiritual maturity, did not go unnoticed. Heaven records everything, every tear, every silent night, every prayer you whispered through clenched teeth. And now those records are being opened. God is getting ready to make an announcement through your life. Not a whisper, not a soft moment, an announcement, an undeniable supernatural unfolding that will leave no doubt that His hand has been on you the entire time. Even when you couldn't feel Him, even when you wondered if He forgot you, even when the silence was deafening, He was preparing this moment. There's something holy about how you handled what was meant to destroy you. You didn't just survive, you transformed. And transformation is the enemy of every demonic agenda, because the moment you change, truly change, they can't reach you with the same old tactics. They will try though, watch. They will try to re-enter. They'll send messages, fake apologies, pretend to have changed. They'll show up in your dreams. They'll use others to test your boundaries. Because the enemy always tries to come back once he realizes you're not weak anymore. But you're not going back. Not to dysfunction, not to self-betrayal, not to pretending, not to spiritual blindness. You've tasted truth. You've seen what real peace feels like. And you know now that your spirit is too sacred to be mishandled. So don't open the door. Not out of bitterness, but out of wisdom. Because the version of you that tolerated confusion doesn't exist anymore. You've been reborn in the fire, refined in the storm, anointed in the battle. And when God raises someone from the ashes, He doesn't do it halfway. He completes the work. Job 23:10 says, "But He knows the way that I take. When He has tried me, I shall come out as gold." That's what you are now. Gold, pure, refined, set apart. Not everyone will like it. Not everyone will celebrate it, but that's not your concern. Your concern is staying aligned, staying obedient, staying ready. Because you are not just being healed, you are being positioned. You are not just being restored, you are being launched. God is getting ready to do something so big, so undeniable, so supernatural in your life that it will leave even your enemies in awe, not to prove a point, but to fulfill His promise. You didn't choose this path, it chose you. And now that you've said yes, heaven is mobilizing. Angels are being assigned, connections are aligning, doors are unlocking, resources are being released. Not because you chased it, but because you walked in integrity. And God honors integrity. So rise up, chosen one. Your time is not coming, it's here. Your justice is not delayed, it's unfolding. Your enemies are not winning, they're watching. Your healing is not a maybe, it's a guarantee. Walk in it, declare it, protect it. You've made it this far, don't stop now. There's a reason the warfare intensified. There's a reason your spirit felt like it was under siege. There's a reason the betrayal hit so deep, why the confusion came so suddenly, why the attacks felt so personal. You weren't just being attacked randomly, you were being targeted for your anointing. Because when a chosen one begins to awaken, all hell begins to tremble. Darkness always reacts to light, always. But let's go deeper. The enemy didn't attack you because of your past. He attacked you because of your future, because of what you carry, because of what's attached to your name in the spiritual realm. You may not fully see it yet, but heaven does, and hell does too. That's why the pressure was unexplainable. That's why the betrayal came from those closest. That's why the wounds cut deeper than usual. Because this wasn't about one moment, it was about your mantle. When you're chosen, you become a mirror to others. And not everyone can handle their reflection. Your light shows them where they've gone dark. Your peace reveals their inner chaos. Your calling reveals their compromise. That's why they tried to make you doubt yourself. That's why they questioned your every move. That's why they tried to shrink you down to something manageable. Because your existence alone is conviction to their comfort. But you didn't come here to fit in. You came to shift the atmosphere. You came to carry out a divine assignment. And that assignment required separation. It required misunderstanding. It required isolation. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to be liked by everyone. You were never meant to stay where it was comfortable. The word says in 1 Peter 2:9, "But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light." You were called out, set apart, not excluded, exalted. And because of that, the spiritual realm has been watching you, both light and dark, both angels and demons, because your movement has weight, your prayers shake things, your presence carries authority. That's why the energy has been intense lately. The full moon in Aquarius didn't just highlight your journey. It unlocked something, a portal of awareness, a surge of truth, a vibration of divine alignment. And it made you see, really see, who was for you. You, who was sent to drain you, who was masking their jealousy with fake support. Some of them were never with you. They were with the version of you that needed them. But now that you've healed, now that you've grown, now that your discernment has become sharper than ever before, they don't know how to stand next to you anymore. Good, let them fall away, because this next level of your life demands real alignment. Let's talk about it, the reason why the attacks happened. It wasn't punishment, it was refinement. It wasn't random, it was a spiritual lesson. The enemy meant it for evil, but God used it to reveal what couldn't go forward with you. He used it to purge the illusions. He used it to toughen your spirit, because there are higher places He's calling you into, and you cannot walk into divine territory carrying old wounds, old cycles, and toxic soul ties. Everything you went through had purpose. The rejection, divine redirection. The betrayal, divine separation. The loneliness, divine consecration. Every no was making room for a yes that wouldn't come from man, but from God Himself. Look at the life of Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, falsely accused, imprisoned, forgotten, but all of it was divine alignment. God was orchestrating it all, because Joseph had a destiny. He had to go through the pit to reach the palace. He had to be rejected by his own blood to preserve a nation. His pain had purpose, and so does yours. Genesis 50:20. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Your testimony is not just about you. It's about the lives attached to your calling. And that's why you've been fought so hard, because when you rise, you don't rise alone. You break chains in your family. You awaken people in your circle. You shift atmospheres in your city. That's the weight of being chosen. You're not just carrying a story, you're carrying a sword. But chosen ones, hear this. The attacks always intensify right before the elevation. The lies, the gaslighting, the spiritual fatigue, all of it is a sign that you are on the brink of something divine. And the Aquarius full moon wasn't just an energy shift. It was a soul-level reset. God is wiping the slate clean. He's breaking contracts you never agreed to. He's severing spiritual ties that were silently draining you. Some of the people you once cried over, you can't even feel them anymore. That's not coldness. That's healing. That's spiritual maturity. That's God saying, you've grieved enough. Now rise. You carry higher energy now. You walk into rooms differently. You trust your intuition more. You move with silence and purpose. And because of that, you've become a different kind of target, but also a different kind of warrior. You're not reactionary anymore. You're intentional. You don't explain yourself. You demonstrate through peace, through power, through presence. The ones who hurt you, they're feeling it now. Not because you wished them harm, but because spiritual law is real. What you sow, you reap. What you speak, you live. What you project, you attract. And many of them are now sitting in the consequences of seeds they thought would never bloom. But you stayed pure. You stayed obedient. You didn't match their energy. You transcended it. Psalm 37:28. For the Lord loves justice. He will not forsake His saints. God is not playing about you. He's seen every tear, every betrayal, every silent battle, and he is responding with justice. But not just in ways the world expects. Divine justice isn't always loud. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's peace when they expected your destruction, sometimes it's promotion when they plotted your downfall, sometimes it's joy they can't steal. That's what they're seeing now, and it's undeniable. You've always been different. Even when you tried to blend in, something about you stood out. That was never your weakness, it was your mark. Heaven marked you early. You were never created to conform. You were created to lead. But leadership starts in the Spirit, and now the Spirit is calling you higher. This isn't about revenge. It's about revelation, about walking in your true identity, about honoring the divine inside of you, about recognizing that not everyone gets to walk with you, because not everyone can handle the weight of your calling. Your time has come. The veil has lifted. The illusions are falling away. The path is clear, and though it may look unfamiliar, it is right. You are being elevated. You are being activated. You are being remembered by heaven. So hold your head high. You survived the fire. You passed the test. You stayed true to your spirit. And now, God is about to make it all make sense. God is not playing this time. He is moving with fire in his hands and justice in his breath. The chosen ones have waited long enough, cried long enough, suffered long enough. And now the Lion of Judah is roaring. The shaking you feel in the spirit, that's heaven responding to your obedience. The sudden silence from people, that's God clearing the path. The strange peace that makes no sense, that's confirmation. You've crossed over. You're about to level up, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and even physically. The battles that were sent to break you have only sharpened you. You've been forged in fire, refined in storms, covered in grace. You've walked through hell with your hands trembling, but your faith intact. And now God is saying, enough. Enough delay, enough affliction, enough circles. You've passed the test, and divine elevation is your reward. This moment is sacred. Breathe that in. This moment is holy. Let that sink into your bones. You've reached the edge of the old season, and the bridge to the new one is already being built under your feet. You're not falling, you're rising. Even when it feels like free fall, God is holding you in midair. Everything that once intimidated you will now respect you, not because of who you are, but because of whose you are. You walk with the authority of the one who made the stars. You speak with the wisdom of the Spirit who hovered over the deep. You are not ordinary, you are chosen. And that comes with both weight and wonder. From this moment forward, protect your light like never before. Guard your spirit like a temple. Everyone can't access you. Everyone can't walk with you. Everyone can't carry your oil. And that's okay. Release the need to explain. Release the need to defend. Let God do the talking. Let your fruit be your proof. You don't need to beg for blessings that are already written in your name. You don't need to force doors that heaven has already assigned to open. You don't need to chase what you've already been chosen for. All you have to do is align. Stay in the frequency of faith. Stay in the posture of prayer. Stay in the presence of God, that secret place where healing flows, clarity rises, and the enemy loses all access. Because this full moon didn't just illuminate your path, it revealed your authority. The battle was never about your weakness, it was about your power, and now that you see it clearly, your job is simple. Walk in it. Speak the promises of God over your life daily. Speak peace into your home. Speak joy into your bloodline. Speak restoration over what was lost. Speak boldness over your purpose. The power of life and death is in your tongue, and your words are weapons, not to harm, but to heal. You are the curse breaker. You are the cycle ender. You are the spiritual leader of your lineage. This is more than a season. It's a divine transition. You're not who you were even a month ago. Your spirit has shifted. Your discernment has sharpened. Your standards have risen, and so has your vibration. That's why the old can't cling to you anymore. Let it fall away. Let the ashes settle. Because from the ruins, a new version of you is emerging. Fierce, whole, holy. And now the heavens echo the truth your soul has always known. You are chosen. You are protected. You are rising. Don't let fear make you shrink. Don't let old voices make you question. Don't let past pain make you pause. God is moving now. You don't have to see every detail to trust the direction. You don't have to know the outcome to follow His voice. Obedience is your strategy. Surrender is your power. Faith is your force field. And let this be your anthem from this day forward. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. Let it ring in your mind when doubt creeps in. Let it echo through your bones when the pressure rises. Let it be your banner when the enemy tries to whisper lies. Because you've come too far to retreat now. You've grown too much to go back. You've healed too deeply to let old wounds reopen. Chosen one, this is your divine confirmation. You are protected. You are rising. You are free. Say it out loud. Let your spirit hear it. Let your atmosphere shift because of it. And if this word spoke to you, if your soul was stirred, if your heart knows this was divinely timed, drop a comment below. Let it be a declaration of agreement. Speak it, claim it, own it. Say, this was for me. I receive it. I am chosen. And share this with someone whose spirit has been weary, someone who's been fighting silently, someone who's forgotten their light. Be the confirmation someone else has been praying for. Your light matters. Your voice matters. Your calling matters. Stay covered. Stay aligned. Stay faithful. God is still moving. Amen.